Welcome to Network Chuck. Today I'm going to show you I'm telling you how to create hunt groups. And hunt groups are comprised of hunt pilots, hunt list, and line groups. In what situations would you use a hunt pilot or a hunt group? For example, what I use at work, we got a group of sales guys, and they all have one extension on their phone. Typically you'd have like a shared line kind of thing where they all have the same extension. A call comes in, and whoever gets the call first picks it up. Problem is that call is seen on hold on all those phones that the extension exists on. It makes things kind of messy. It's not ideal. So the other option would be creating a hunt group, which a hunt group, everyone gets their own extension, and a hunt group will kind of hunt through the numbers based on whatever routing you have configured. So a call comes in, it'll go to this guy first, then this guy, then this guy, or it'll blast all the guys at once. And when it hits a phone and they answer, it doesn't exist on any other phone but that phone, and it's really clean, really nice. There's some more options you have, and we'll go into that right now. So first, let's open up our browser. Firefox is my browser of choice, seems to work best with Call Manager. Let's go to Call Manager, Cisco Unified Communications Manager. This is for Call Manager really 10.5. But it's applicable to 10.0 and really 9 and also 8 in any previous version. There's a few features in 10 and 9 that you won't find in the previous versions, but they're all pretty much the same. So we will log into the Cisco Unified CM administration portion. That's the first option you have there, so easy enough. I'll just log in here. So the first thing we'll do, if you can see there, I just upgraded to 10.5. I don't have my licenses yet, so a bunch of jerks at Cisco haven't solved my problem yet. Anyways, the first thing we'll do is we will go to call routing, route hunt, line group. So Cisco kind of does things in a hierarchical view of things, especially with their phone system. So to create a hunt group, there's really three elements. First is your line group, which is kind of the bottom tier, then your hunt list, and then your hunt pilot. You have to create your line group first, then your hunt list, and then your hunt pilot. Otherwise, you can't go from the top, you can't start in the middle, you have to start at the bottom. So we'll go ahead and create our line group first. So I'll just go ahead and click Add New. Line group name, I'll just do Network Chuck. So here we have our RNA reversion timeout. This is how many seconds the call is going to ring for until someone picks it up. If you are doing a top-down scenario, it'll ring for, let's say in this situation, 10 seconds at every phone. So actually we'll go over the distribution algorithm real quick. So this is how your call is going to route. Top-down, pretty much you get a list of users. It's going to go John, Michael, whatever, and it's going to ring for this specified amount of time. Circular, it's just going to go in a circle. Last person it left off on, it's going to go on the next person. And then longest idle time, very cool feature. It will catch John, what's his face, jacking around, and you can do this. Basically, whoever is idle longest, who hadn't taken a call in the longest amount of time, is going to get that call first, and then so on. And then you got your, come on, it's a pilot and stuff, you weirdo. You get your broadcast, which is obviously going to broadcast to any phone extension that's a part of this line group, and it'll broadcast for the specified amount of time. So basically, this RNA reversion timeout, if you're doing anything but broadcast, you want to make it kind of short because it's going to ring at each individual phone for that amount of time. Now, if you do broadcast, you kind of like, for instance, I have a sales group, and they want, it's kind of first come, first served. They want all the calls coming to all of their guys, and I put this at about 30 seconds. Gives them ample enough time to pick up, and honestly, they pick it up pretty quick, but 30 seconds, that's all it's going to ring for. So I'm not worried about that, but we'll go ahead and do a 10-second top-down. That's typically the most popular one I do. Then we have our hunt options. This is what's going to happen if no one picks up on the phone on the line group. So say we got 5 users, and all these users are either on the phone or they simply don't answer. So here's no answer. You got your typical options. Try the next member. So no answer. You can try the next member in the group. so this is the default setting. I never changed these settings. I never had the need to. But here we go. So default setting, try next member, then try the next group in the hunt list. We'll go over that here in a sec. No, I think go try next member. Do not go to the next group, so it stops at this this line group and this hunt group, or hunt list, I mean. You can skip the remaining members and go directly to the next group. So if it hits a person, they don't answer, it doesn't do anyone else in that group, that line group. Or no answer, stop hunting. So the first person that doesn't answer, it just stops altogether. We'll stay on the default. Of course, you got the same options for busy. If it hits a busy line, it'll do that, and then if the person's not available or if the line's not available, do the same thing. I don't typically change this. Now this option right here, I know is in Call Manager 9 and Call Manager 10. Basically, this is important for queuing, which is a new feature in 9 and 10. A very, very neat feature. It'll automatically log out the hunt member on no answer. So if it hits a person, they don't answer, it's going to log them out. This will not work on a broadcast, but it will work on every other distribution algorithm where it's like a top-down or circular. So if it hits a person, they don't answer, it'll log them out of the hunt group. There are some kind of things you got to watch out for with this, so we'll go over that here in a second. So basically, we covered our line group, our timeout. So a ring is about 4 seconds. So you're talking about 3 rings to 10 seconds. I usually do about 15 seconds and then 30 seconds for a broadcast. We covered our automatically log out hunt member on no answer, blah, blah, blah. So now we need to add our line group members. Basically, you can either select the partition and search in there. What I normally do is just go in here, search for a number. I'll go ahead and add myself. Go in here, find myself. I do a lot of testing here, so don't worry about that. So I'll click my number here, click add to line group. So now I have my current line group members, selected DN or route partition, there I am, and I will click save. So now I've now created my line group. If I scroll down here, I can see my numbers sitting right here in the directory of numbers that are a part of this line group. So our line group is created. We created it a top-down fashion, so anyone else who is in there, it'll go in after me. I'm the first in the group. If I were to put someone else in there, let's say I just add my other number, my really long number there. I was doing something else with that. Let's say I wanted to make sure that I was first. Oh wait, I don't want to do that. I just removed myself just now. So that's how you remove a line group member. If you went in here, you had the selected DN route partitions. What you would do is you would take this number, click this down arrow, that would be removed, and then you would save. Let's go ahead and make sure I'm up there. Basically, you can change the order of these little arrows right here, move up or down. You can reverse order, however you want to do it. We'll go and save with those members here. So now, I tell you what I'll go ahead and do. I'll go ahead and do the automatically log out, because I'll cover that here in a bit with the queuing. So we've created our line group. We'll go back to the find list here. We'll just kind of go in here and look for it, network. And there it is, in all its glory. So now we created our line group. Next, we need to create our hunt list. So we go back to call routing, route hunt, and hunt list. We'll go ahead and click add new. Here, any name you want to name it. Network Chuck. Description, whatever you want to say. Test hunt list. The group, I've never really worked with this. It's always default for me, so no worries about that. You want to go ahead and click enable hunt list, and this for voicemail usage. That's for when you are like creating a integration with Cisco Unity, and you'll actually use a hunt list and hunt pilot to and line group to do your voicemail ports to your Cisco Unity server. So we're not doing that right now, so we won't cover that. So I've done that. Go ahead and click save. And now I need to add my line group that I created. So I'll go ahead and go add line group. Go in here, look for it. As you can see, I have a lot of line groups. But we'll go here and find Network Chuck. Save. This, you always get this, no worries. It's just telling you have to reset to apply the changes. So now I've added my hunt list. You can see it right down here. I'll go ahead and click save. just to be safe. And I'll click reset. Reset. Now if you do this during a live situation, if there are current calls ringing through, of course it'll drop those calls. But any calls that have already rung to a phone and made that connection, you have no worries there. I typically do this whenever there's an issue. It's really a small issue. So now, that was actually pretty easy. Our hunt list is not that hard. As you can see, you have the option to add more line groups if you ever needed to. So the option we had back at the hunt line group, we'll go back to that real quick. Where it says, if no answer, try next member, then try next group in hunt list. That's what that option is for. It'll try the next group in that hunt list. So if I had network Chuck 2, it would try all the members here. No answer or busy or whatever, it'll go to the next group here. But for this test, we won't create another one. So now we have our line group and we have our hunt list. Let's go ahead and create our hunt pilot. Let's go to route hunt, hunt pilot. We'll go ahead and click add new. So our hunt pilot number, really any DN or directory number that you want to use that you're going to have routed to. So if you're doing a translation pattern with a like a 214 through 45 5677, and you want 5677 to be that hunt pilot, go for it. Whatever your number you want to use. I'm just going to throw out a random long ridiculous number. Route partition, whatever partition you're currently using, I'll just do my company's partition here. Keep this to none, but typically you do the route partition that's routable with your calling search space rules and your classic control and everything else. Description, you just want to be descriptive, tell everyone what it is. It's going to say network Chuck. All this I just keep as default, no worries about that. Hunt list, here's where you select your hunt list. Go ahead and scroll down here and select network Chuck. It's going to utilize this hunt list. Here is what's new about 9 and 10, and I love this feature because if you get I got a call center right now, and they have probably 20-30 hunt pilots and hunt groups they use. And when a call comes in, they need to know where it's from. What is this for? Before I couldn't do that. I would have to do some kind of tricky things where I would have it come into a specific line or something. But now we can have alerting name and ASCII information on this. So I'll just go ahead and say network Chuck. Network Chuck. Alrighty then. We'll go ahead and route that pattern. I'm not going to provide outside dial tone. It's going to be an internal call here. No need to provide outside dial tone. So now here we get to our options when there's no answer or it's busy, kind of like we did in line group. So here, it hits. So let's say at the end of the line group options, if there's no answer, it tells you to stop hunting, or you've gone through all your hunt groups and there's no members answering, and it'll go back to your hunt pilot's rules. So here's what will happen. You can either have it just drop the call off, do nothing. You can have it forward the settings of the line group member, which that'll just obey the whatever the last member the voicemail settings are. It'll obey that. Or you can have it go to a specified destination. I typically do voicemail here, so I'll just specify the number I use for my voicemail ports, so 7777. Make sure you have the right calling search space, which for me it's Dallas HQ. Maximum hunt timer, I'll just leave that as default. Typically you want it to be 120 seconds. That's how long it's going to hunt through the entire process. So if you've got like a situation where you have a buttload of numbers doing a top-down list, so you're like 50 members in your hunt group and you're doing a 10-second reversion time on every single person, this is going to kind of help you with that, limit those options. And then you can have the same option on busy. I want it to go to voicemail and specify my right calling search space, so I'm obeying my classic control rules and the routing is permitted. So that's the kind of option you'll have in version pretty much every version that has hunt groups. But in version 9 and version 10, we got some cool stuff here. Queuing. Okay, so back to queuing. So I've selected my queue call options. They have obviously taken out my other options. I've set up my queuing information, so whenever a queue is full, and I've set my maximum like 32 seconds. Set your MOH here. I can route blah blah blah. So you can set your MOH for the queuing, whatever you want to set there, whatever you have configured. You can set the maximum number of callers allowed in queue. So right now, default 32. That's fine for me right now. Then when the queue is full, what do you want to do? Typically, you want to have it go to voicemail, so have it go into my voicemail port. Maximum wait time in queue. That's about 15 minutes, which is fine. Do the math, you can lower that. And then when the maximum time is met, what do you want to happen? Obviously, you want to go to voicemail or some other extension that can be handled. And then the last part, no hunt members answer, logged in or registered. You want to go to voicemail. Now here is the tricky part, and you have to watch out for this. Queuing does not work on broadcasting in line groups. So if you go back to your line group settings and you have your distribution algorithm, if you have broadcast set, it will not work. Also, if you do not have the checkbox for automatically log out on no answer in your line group, it will not work. So let me kind of describe something for you. Let's say you got a top-down line group and you do not have that checkbox selected. Billy Joe's the first one in the queue. All right, and the only one in the queue right now. It goes to Billy Joe, he doesn't answer. What's the call gonna do? If you did have it checked, it would sit in the queue. If you don't have it checked, it's gonna obey the no answer settings and go to voicemail or whatever you have set. So the key here is that you need to have that checkbox selected. The problem with that is that you have to give the users a way to know that they've been logged out of the hunt group, and you have to give them a way to log back in, which that can be a problem. There are options. If you have a physical phone with extra line buttons, you can dedicate one of those line buttons to a hunt group log out option, or log in, log out option, which that's a really cool feature. It'll light up the button when you're logged in, dim it out when it's not logged in. They can have some control over that. You can even do a hunt group stats on it, which I think is available in 9 and 10, maybe not 8 or below. But that's really the way you want to do that for queuing. So that's really the only downside with queuing. I know with when I did set it up for like my help desk, that was not an option because they would often not answer calls because they were working on something and they would forget and they would never get calls, and then people would be in the queue and it'd just be a nightmare. So you got to have caution. You might have to train your users a little bit if you do implement that setting. Let's see, beyond the queuing settings, there's really no other setting I need to configure with my hunt pilots. Everything else is pretty straightforward. If you wanted to do any of this advanced translations or transformations, you would obviously already know how to do that. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to click save. And that is it. So if I went to my route plan report, I'll go ahead and search for my number, which is ridiculously long. It should be hard to find. There you can see that, kind of get a bird's eye view of how everything looks. There's my hunt pilot, there's my hunt list, and there are my line group numbers. Kind of a neat way to look at it. You can jump to each one of these and edit it. By the way, if you don't use route plan report, you need to get the best view of your network from here, of your phone system network from here. So now let's give it a quick test. I'm going to go ahead and dial the number here on my trusty iPad. Look at that. Remus Lupin for Network Chuck. Go and answer that. Hello. And you can see here. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you create a hunt pilot or a hunt group. And if you want to know how to do those things like creating a hunt group login button on the phone, I'll be making a video about that too. So come back, I'll show you how to do that. If you want to know how to do something or have any questions, please comment below. And if you want to subscribe and see more videos, please subscribe. Thank you for watching Network Chuck, and hopefully you learned something new.